In the quiet dawn of a misty morning at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, the air hung heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth. The sun was just beginning to peek over the horizon, casting long shadows across the barracks where new recruits stirred from their bunks. Among them was Emily Carter, a young woman in her mid-20s with a slight build and soft brown eyes that seemed to hold stories untold. She moved slowly, tying her boots with careful hands, her face calm but distant, as if she carried a weight no one else could see. The camp was alive with the usual sounds: drill sergeants barking orders, boots thudding against gravel, and the distant hum of trucks rolling in supplies. Emily had arrived just a week ago, part of a fresh batch of recruits eager to prove themselves in the U.S. Army. But from the start, she stood out, and not for strength or speed, but for what others saw as weakness. During morning runs, she lagged behind, her breaths coming in short, labored gasps. In obstacle courses, she struggled to climb the walls, her arms trembling under the strain. Whispers spread quickly among the group. "What's she doing here?" one recruit muttered. "She'll wash out before the end of the month." Sergeant David Ramirez, a stern man with a shaved head and a voice like thunder, noticed her too. He had trained hundreds of soldiers over his 15 years in the service, and he prided himself on spotting potential or the lack of it. "Carter!" he shouted one afternoon during push-up drills. The group was on the dusty field, sweat soaking their uniforms under the relentless sun. Emily dropped to the ground, her form shaky, managing only a handful before her elbows buckled. The others held their positions, glancing sideways with pity or annoyance. "You're holding everyone back," Ramirez growled, pacing in front of her. "If you can't keep up, maybe this isn't the place for you." Emily didn't argue. She just nodded, wiping sweat from her brow, and tried again. Her fellow recruits, a strong, confident types like Jake Harlan from Texas and Mia Lopez from California, tried to help at first. Jake, with his broad shoulders and easy grin, offered tips during downtime. "Hey, Emily, focus on your core, it'll make it easier." But as days turned into weeks, their patience wore thin. In the mess hall, over trays of bland eggs and toast, conversations turned to doubts. "She's nice and all," Mia said one evening, her fork pausing midair, "but we're a team. If she can't pull her weight, it affects us all." The problem was relatable, the kind that echoed in any group striving together, one person's struggle rippling out, testing bonds and raising questions about fairness. Evenings brought a brief respite. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the recruits gathered around campfires or in the common room, sharing stories from home. Emily sat quietly, listening more than speaking. She spoke of her small town in Ohio, of rainy days in family farms, but never delved deeper. Her voice was soft, measured, like someone who had learned to choose words carefully. The others shared dreams of deployments, promotions, and heroism. Jake boasted about his high school football days, how he could tackle anyone. Mia talked of her ambition to become a medic, saving lives on the front lines. Emily smiled faintly, her eyes reflecting the flickering flames, but she offered no tales of her own glory. It made her seem even more out of place, a puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. One particularly grueling day, the heat wave hit hard. The temperature soared past 90 degrees, turning the training grounds into a furnace. The recruits were on a 10-mile march, packs heavy on their backs, rifles slung over shoulders. Emily started strong, her steps deliberate, but halfway through, she faltered, her face paled, and she dropped to one knee by the side of the dirt road. "Carter's down again," someone called out. Sergeant Ramirez halted the group, his face etched with frustration. He knelt beside her, water canteen in hand. "What's the issue, recruit? Heat? Or just not cut out for this?" Emily looked up, her breath steadying. "I'm fine, Sergeant, just need a moment." But Ramirez wasn't buying it. He radioed for a medic, and soon she was sidelined in the shade of a Humvee, watching the others press on without her. That night, in the barracks, the tension boiled over. Jake confronted her gently, his voice low as lights dimmed. "Emily, we're worried. If you keep this up, you might get hurt or get someone else hurt. Have you thought about talking to the doc? Maybe this isn't your path." Mia nodded from her bunk, her expression kind but firm. Emily lay there, staring at the ceiling, the weight of their words settling like fog. It was a problem anyone could understand, the fear of failure, the drag of doubt, and the quiet ache of not belonging. As weeks passed, the atmosphere in the platoon thickened with unspoken judgments. Drills grew tougher, live fire exercises, night maneuvers under starless skies. Emily improved slightly, her movements more fluid. But she still trailed. Ramirez pulled her aside one foggy morning, the air cool and thick around them. "Carter, I see effort, but effort alone doesn't win wars. What's holding you back? Family issues? Health?" He paused, expecting excuses, but Emily met his gaze steadily. "Nothing like that, Sergeant. I just take my time." He shook his head, dismissing her to join the line. The camp's rhythm continued, reveille at dawn, lights out at dusk, each day blending into the next like waves on the shore. Then came the gentle twist, unfolding not with drama, but with the slow reveal of dawn's light. It started during a routine inspection. The recruits were in formation, uniforms crisp, when a high-ranking officer arrived unannounced. Colonel Elena Vasquez, a decorated veteran with silver in her hair and medals gleaming on her chest, stepped from her jeep. She was there to observe, but her eyes scanned the ranks with purpose. "Sergeant Ramirez," she called, her voice carrying authority. "I need to speak with Recruit Carter." Murmurs rippled through the group. Emily stepped forward, saluting sharply. The colonel led her to a quiet office in the admin building, the door closing behind them with a soft click. Outside, the platoon waited, curiosity buzzing like bees. Jake leaned toward Mia. "What do you think that's about? Disciplinary?" Mia shrugged, wiping dust from her boots. Hours ticked by slowly, the sun climbing high, casting harsh shadows on the parade ground. When Emily emerged, her face was unchanged, calm, composed, but Colonel Vasquez followed, addressing the group. "Listen up," she said, her tone firm yet warm. "You've got a hero in your midst." She paused, letting the words sink in, the wind rustling leaves in the background. Recruit Carter isn't new to this. She served in Afghanistan 3 years ago, led a patrol under heavy fire, saved her squad from an ambush. For that, she earned the Medal of Honor, the highest honor our nation bestowed. The revelation hung in the air, soft and surprising, like the first raindrop after a drought. Gasps echoed faintly. Ramirez's eyes widened, his stern facade cracking. "Why the secrecy?" he asked, voice low. Vasquez explained. Emily had been injured badly in that mission, a shattered leg, internal scars that still ached. She had retired honorably, but the call to serve pulled her back, this time, undercover as a weak recruit, to test the system's compassion, to see if the army valued heart over haste. Her struggles were deliberate, a way to rebuild strength quietly, without fanfare. Emily stood there, medal now pinned discreetly to her uniform, her secret laid bare. "I didn't want pity or praise," she said softly, her words measured for the quiet moment. "I wanted to earn my place again, on my terms." The platoon absorbed it slowly, the atmosphere shifting from doubt to awe. Jake stepped forward first, extending a hand. "Emily. Ma'am, we're sorry. We didn't know." Mia hugged her gently, tears in her eyes. "You're the strongest one here." From that day, everything changed, and not with fireworks, but with the steady flow of respect earned. Ramirez adjusted drills, incorporating lessons on resilience beyond muscle. "Carter taught us that true strength is quiet," he said during an evening briefing, firelight dancing on faces. The platoon bonded deeper, sharing stories with new openness. Emily led by example, her pace deliberate, inspiring others to push through their own pains. In the end, as graduation approached under a clear blue sky, Emily stood tall among her peers. The ceremony was simple, flags waving, families cheering from the stands. She received her insignia, but the real honor was in the eyes of those around her, grateful, changed. Jake and Mia flanked her, friends now forged in understanding. "You changed everything," Mia whispered. Emily smiled, the weight lifted, her heart full. As the band played and the sun set golden, she knew this was home again, and not in glory, but in quiet purpose. The weak recruit had reminded them all, heroes walk among us, their secrets blooming like flowers after rain, transforming doubt into unbreakable unity.